We got about 15 minutes to go, so sorry for you listeners out there. I just don't want to mess with any electronic stuff like this. I hate when I can't hear the radio. All right, 5 minutes or so. Just about 5.5 minutes to any Facebook watchers or YouTube watchers. Andrew, you watching that Atlanta United game? It's on right now. We're getting an update from there tonight.
You'll have the Heisman on this.
Is there a game on there? Is there another?
I mean,
Okay, we'll put the Heisman. That's fine.
you got a couple of college.
This is the only thing I care about anyway.
Yeah.
So you got college basketball, you got NHL, you got NBA,
Yeah.
you got everything underway now. You probably have a ton of scores.
Easy.
I know it's easy.
Easy. But this is all we care about.
You're like John Minko.
Thank you. Thank you.
Or Rich Ackerman. He better get his butt in here.
He said he'll be in here in like a minute.
Tell him the first thing I want is radio in my ears, and we gotta check my mic. Hey, wait till Mary hears about this.
We got it. No worries.
I know you got it. That's not fair to him though,
I know.
to go from one show to another like that.
But it's sports. It's easy. It's like second nature.
Oh, and I noticed last week, try to let the music run all the way through. It's easier for me to speak over.
What?
When I'm introducing you guys,
Yeah.
let the music run through.
Right. The only reason I lower it a little bit is because the next commercial can pop up. That's the only reason I do it.
That's good.
First one. We haven't figured it out yet. I still can't figure it out. But I'll make sure it'll run mostly through.
All right. First, just check. The only thing I need to check my mic and headphones.
Yes, sir.
Were you able to find the Seton Hall thing?
Yep, I'm getting it right now.
Yeah. Sure. So that means you were able to find it.
They had a big win.
Huge. We're going to talk about it.
All right. Good luck.
All right, buddy. Let's have a good show, guys.
We will.
I need your help. Football's getting good now. Yeah. Can I hear the radio or no? You don't want me to hear that yet?
I'm going to put the radio up.
Okay.
Turn you off.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea. Although I'm not hearing anything.
Delivery is available throughout the U.S., from single baskets or bottles to large corporate orders. To create your custom gift, call Pompeii Gift Baskets at 888-272-0220. That's 888-272-0220. Or visit PompeiiGiftBaskets.com. That's Pompeii, Pompei, giftbaskets.com.
Yes, championship tonight, Andrew. Yes, I know. What happened to the radio? What happened to the radio?
1964 was dubbed the culvert
Now,
because he used a storm drain.
People to hear the Seton Hall music just now?
no.
That was not good. Okay.
The
Hey.
United States has landed in group.
You don't have to play it for me. You don't have to play it for me.
World Cup champions will be joined
You don't have to
Okay.
play it for
for a
me.
rematch of the Olympic
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
You don't have to play it for me.
Oh, no, I know, but I'm just...
1-1 draw. Breaking news and analysis.
It's weird because something screwed up on our computer.
All right, what a surprise. And I have reverberation too.
That's because I had your mic
Okay, okay.
halfway up. All right, we're coming in a minute, so...
I'm ready.
common cancers is very exciting. Australian researchers are claiming that
Under a minute.
so far it's been positive in 90% of the sample, about 70 patients with breast, prostate, lung, and colorectal cancer, and was negative on the blood of people who did not have a clinically diagnosed cancer. If this test proves successful, it can be done cheaply and easily in the medical office.
California prosecutors say Amazon's agreed not to sell foie gras in the state from birds that have been force-fed. State lawmakers banned the form of the fatty duck and goose liver delicacy nearly 15 years ago, but the lawsuit accuses the retailer of illegally selling the item on its website in California. Animal rights activists say the process is painful and cruel. The U.S. Appeals Court upheld the law in 2017. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Ron DeRosa.
It's Saturday evening, time for Talking Sports. Here's your host, Jonathan Friedman.
It is Saturday evening, and we are talking sports right here on AM 970. The Answer, WNYM. I'm John Friedman. James Simeone is on the other side of the glass. James, how are you? Chuck is our call screener. Charles, what's happening? Oh, all is good. Lots to talk about in the next 2 hours. You bring it, we'll talk about it. Give us a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. That's 877-970-2999. Models.com. Also, we're streaming the show. Go to am970theanswer.com. Click on that red Listen Live button, and you'll get us on your mobile device, laptop, etc., and enjoy the show on the World Wide Web. Also, you can catch and watch the show. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Just type in Talking Sports with Jonathan Friedman. It's public, it's live, it's right there. Lots to cover in the next 2 hours, including Charles will keep us updated throughout the evening on scores and finals throughout college basketball, the NBA, and the NHL. You may not know this, and I'm hoping soccer fans in the tri-state area do. Tonight in Atlanta is the MLS Finals from Atlanta, and IJ Rosenberg, he will update us at halftime. Also in the second hour, Sig's Locks of the Week. Major League winter meetings will get underway tomorrow in Las Vegas. We'll discuss our NFL picture calls and other sports news. And speaking of calls, give us a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. That's 877-970-2999. Models.com. So as you saw tonight, or today, right here, or heard on AM 970, The Answer this afternoon, at noon, the Seton Hall Pirates with a big upset of the Kentucky Wildcats, an overtime game, a buzzer beater, everything you want in college basketball, and Seton Hall's been playing very well. James, I understand you had that game here. You were working you were engineering that game.
I was. It was insane. It went, so, Kentucky had it, Seton Hall had it, Kentucky had it, Seton Hall had it. It's like watch them go back and forth.
It's great.
Craziest ending. Before the last shot in the first regulation.
Yeah.
My buddy said at least they're not going into overtime. Poor buzzer beater to send it into overtime.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Absolutely insane. The game was an awesome game and huge win for them.
When you go back, when March comes around and you look at the ATA conference and you look at the power rankings and the RPIs and all this nonsense that goes with it, it's going to be it's a good win for Seton Hall. Now they'll start getting into, after we get by this Christmas season, you start to get into conference play. But they're starting off well. They've had success in these tournaments. So, and I would say in about 2 to 3 weeks, we'll bring back Dave Popkin and talk about Seton Hall basketball. So a really great game for them. And as you know, a lot of the games are on our sister station, WMCA. St. John's off to a wonderful start. And how great to have those two teams with us here at Salem and at 570 and at 970, and fabulous. And speaking of college basketball, I had a great time last week. So my son, the University of Arizona, flew across the country to play Hartford, to play the University of Connecticut in Hartford. So we all packed up and headed up to Hartford Sunday morning and got to watch the Arizona Wildcats take on UConn. Great at the Harvard Civic Center, the old place where the Hartford Whalers used to play. It felt great to be there. And I was telling Chuck before the game, I'm getting there, the student crowd, the student section's getting crazy, and their favorite line for Arizona was FBI. FBI. So it was, and as my son said to me, he said, you know what? We're going to hear that on the road all year this year. So whatever. But they played really well. It's great to see Arizona playing where they don't have a superstar out there playing or a one and done playing as a team. They pretty much had control of the game against Connecticut last week. So that was a lot of fun. And then so they get back to Arizona. They beat Connecticut, get back there. And now my son and the Arizona Wildcats have now flown across the country again, which you'll watch on ESPN tomorrow, to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa tomorrow. So now my Atlanta family's taking a little 3-hour ride up to Tuscaloosa to spend the day with Mara in Tuscaloosa to watch the Cats play. So kind of fun. And then Monday night, now I don't know if he told you this, Monday night, Monday night, my wife got tickets from a client of hers for on the floor at Madison Square Garden for the Washington Wizards. I figured, you know what, where you live, I'm not going to ask you because it's just a big schlep for you. So I reached out to Chuck, who lives in Queens. So, it's an easy sub ride for him. So I'm whatever, I'm trying to get in touch with him, and, Chuck works that morning show. So I know not to call Chuck around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's nap time for Chuck. Because, he's wiped out. He's here at 5 a.m. for the Joe Piscopo show. And so by the time I got in touch with him, and it was late, and by the time he got in touch with me, the one night he couldn't go, he coaches basketball. So good for him. So I took a friend of mine who happens to be from Atlanta. It was great. I mean, it was great, But what I realized is college basketball to watch is so much better than the NBA. The NBA is a one-on-one league, but when you're right, and I watched your Nets last night. I want to talk to you about that. But a lot of fun, just a lot of basketball. It was actually by Tuesday morning I was pooped with the traveling into Manhattan back or whatever, in the drive to Connecticut in the rain. But a lot of fun, and it's just great to when you can go back to back with an live college basketball game and a live NBA game, and on the floor at the Garden, and the Garden's juiced. People understand that the Knicks are a young team. There's a process involved, but it's juiced. People are excited. Yeah.
I've never had floor seats before, so I am curious, because I've sat, probably the most I've sat basketball 6-7 rows back.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the floor, I know there is...
Well, I not to brag or anything, or not to sound... I've sat on the floor in many positions on the floor, but I've been around a long time. I'm older than you guys. So half court is a great place to sit, but it's not great because they're always just going back and forth with you. Under the basket, though, when they're stopping, there's a lot of stoppage, right? There's a lot of stoppage. So when that's going on, then you can get a good feel. You can hear the conversations and everything. So it's great. All right, we'll take a quick break. And when we get back, Chuck is going to update us on college basketball, NHL, NBA. We're going to talk about college football when we get back. Our picks of the week in the NFL. The Hall of Fame voting is going to happen. The ballots are going to, not the ballots, but they're talking about it in Vegas this week. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. We'll be right back.
Automotive Diagnostic Services of New Jersey in the heart of Morris County.
You didn't have the audio? Is that what you said?
Automotive Repair Service at the corner of Jefferson and Parsippany Roads in Whippany. They fix engine performance issues, brakes, tune-ups, suspension work, and all general auto repairs. Your car's important to you, and they know it. If you're seeking friendly...
So we're going to come back with scores?
I'm going to talk for just 2 seconds, and then we'll go to Chuck with scores.
Yeah.
0679. ADS Automotive is a proud sponsor of Talking Sports.
Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, God with us.
Christmas began
A little intermittent.
pregnancy that ended in the open.
Sorry about that. I went a little late. I went a little late.
That's fine.
Mobile is not just about cell service. They provide support to conservative groups for pro-life, family values, and religious freedom. Stop supporting big mobile companies who support Planned Parenthood, the ACLU, and the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Patriot Mobile gives you the same reliable nationwide coverage at better rates. Keep your phone number and contribute to the conservative causes that you believe in with each phone call you make.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder.
The gift of life. Protect it. Cherish it. Switch to Patriot Mobile to support it. Make a difference this Christmas. Patriot Mobile today at patriotmobile.com/Q or call 1-800-PATRIOT. That's patriotmobile.com/Q or call 1-800-A-PATRIOT.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Saturday evening. Give me a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. That's 877-970-2999. Models.com. Now, I don't know if you mentioned in the opening, if you heard what I mentioned in the opening, was that Atlanta and Portland are in the MLS Finals in Atlanta. You can get that game on Fox right now, I believe. And it's kind of funny that we joked about soccer, right? We joked about soccer all year. And I would touch and try to follow and try to get into it. And then out of nowhere, we started, got some guys on. We got the Atlanta guy on there. Out of nowhere, Atlanta now is in the finals, a one-game final between Atlanta and Portland. In Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz for the whole league of MLS. Kind of cool. Atlanta draws 70,000 people a game. And as an Atlantan myself, I'm still shocked about that, but they do. So this is for the whole marbles. And what's kind of cool is I.J. Rosenberg, who was the beat writer for the Atlanta Braves from 91, from that season, the year they first went to the World Series, throughout the 14 divisional titles. He was their beat writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He started his own publication down there, and he's going to call the show at halftime just to give us an update on what's happening. So kind of cool. I'm glad I reached out to him. So as you know, college football has come to an end. By the way, what was we'll get to that. You'll tell us the score. I was going to ask you the Army-Navy score, but hold on. What, you're going to give us that. I caught you off guard, too, there, probably. All right, anyway, so I wanted to come back. I'll tell you what, we'll do this. We'll go to Chuck and get updated on college basketball scores, NHL, NBA, and when we come back, I'll give you how the final 10 came out in college football, and then we'll kind of take a look at the final four, and then I always like to take a look at the bowl games and make fun of some of the names of the bowl games. I always into. All right, Chuck, get us updated on what's happening in the sports world. Third year in a row, isn't it? Second? Okay, I thought it was third. Okay. That is a cool thing. Great environment. Great environment.
All right, so over the college basketball, number 11 Florida State is up on UConn with just under 12 minutes left in the second.
Wait, can I just interrupt you? Isn't it funny that we talk about 11 Florida State? It was always the other way at Florida State. Basketball stunk and football was good. All right, sorry about that.
Number 5 Michigan beat South Carolina. Number 10 Michigan State beat Florida by 4 in a close matchup. 64 down Kentucky, as we already mentioned. 21 Villanova beat St. Joseph's 70-58. Number 23 Maryland beat last year's Final Four Loyola Chicago 55-41.
Forgot all about them.
I know. 22 Mississippi State beat Clemson 82-71. Number 17 Buffalo beat St. Bonaventure 80-62. 16 Kansas State lost to Tulsa 5-1. 25 Furman. How is Furman ranked? I have no idea. But they beat SC Upstate 74-60. Number 12 Wisconsin was down by Marquette in
All right. So let me give you how it ended up last week. And again, I apologize to our listeners. Something came up last week, and at the last minute, we didn't have the show last week. I hate to miss shows, so I apologize. That's not these guys' fault. It's my fault. But anyway, so we left, and it's probably a good mood. I was not in a great mood at the end of last Saturday anyway because of the Georgia fake punt over Alabama, which I thought was unnecessary. Does that mean the game may have gone a different way? I don't know, but it was just an annoying way for that game to end. It ended up with Florida at 10, Washington at 9, UCF at 8, Michigan at 7, Ohio State at 6, Georgia at 5, Oklahoma at 4, Notre Dame at 3, Clemson at 2, and Alabama at 1. And as you know, Alabama will take on Oklahoma, and Clemson and Notre Dame will play in that Final Four. The only disappointment is I was hoping Georgia would play Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl, but it didn't work out that way. So hey, it just shows you that it's tough to get into that Final Four, and it's a long season, and most people would say, Georgia. A lot of people had the argument: should Georgia have gotten in? No, they lost They had 2 losses, and they didn't win the conference. And they had 2 losses. Don't lose to LSU on the road. So, it was not comparable to the Alabama scenario the year before because Alabama didn't have any losses.
But it's all right. So they beat LSU, right?
Yeah.
Do they get it?
Yes.
Over Oklahoma.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
But I can't let that, that's two losses. That's 2. Right. Now remember, Alabama just lost to Auburn and didn't get into the conference final last year. So kind of a similar situation, but that they didn't get penalized and obviously deserved to be there, right? But Georgia had 2 losses, did not deserve to get in. So
I don't know at what point you're going to leave Alabama out if they have 1 loss, but to me, if they have 1 loss,
they're proving it. I mean, it's a machine down there. But I give Georgia credit. They hung in there. They hung in there. They shouldn't have lost. Shouldn't have run the fake punt. That annoyed me. I don't know. Well, here's the thing. If there's a 10% chance it's not going to work, then don't run it. No, punt it. Make them go 80 yards. You don't need to make them go 40 yards to score. It's a championship. It's just the same way as I felt about Dan Quinn. Run the football when you're supposed to run the football, opposed to throwing the football. So anyway, I wanted to go over a few of the bowl names. I always like to look at these. It's my once-a-year kind of thing, and I try to find one out that's funny. Now, every town in America now seems to have the bowl, right, to get people to come to their town. You've got the Boca Raton Bowl. That's your grandma and grandfather bowl. You can even go to the Bahamas. They got their own bowl. The Bahamas Bowl we got. Let me find another one. We got First Responders Bowl. That's kind of a cool one. We got the Cheese It Bowl. That makes sense. That makes sense. We got, I want to see if I can find one. Here's another state one. We've got an Arizona Bowl. We've got it's called this. It's played in Tucson, so they play it actually at the University of Arizona. We've got the Red Box Bowl. I don't know what that is. Red Box. There's people are still okay. I thought that got kind of antiquated. We've got the there's another good one I saw here. I'm trying to find it here. We got the Quick Lane Bowl. Is that like to get your oil changed? We've got the Camellia Bowl that has Georgia Southern and Eastern Michigan and Montgomery, Alabama. And the Cure Bowl. And we got the Cure Bowl. So some interesting bowls here. But bowls, since you have the Final Four, do you watch bowls?
it's good, like, kind of background music. You just throw it on the TV.
Yeah. But not like you had it before, though. Not.
Before, there was like 5 bowls you had to watch.
Right. Yeah. Like, I really don't have a huge interest in watching Georgia and Texas in the Sugar Bowl. I just don't. Now, I'm not talking about that. I want to see the championship. That's all that matters.
That's about it. And that's only because I think UCF is the Rose Bowl this year. Am I wrong?
The Rose Bowl is Ohio State against Washington.
And what's UCF?
They're in the.
They're playing LSU. I know that.
Oh, okay.
They're playing LSU, and I gotta tell you, I hope they beat LSU to make a statement, obviously, but they got to schedule out of conference games. That's the bottom line with that team. They do. They do. All right, we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to look for an update score from Atlanta, the MLS Cup Finals between the United of Atlanta and Portland. We're going to take a look at our NFL picks. We got winter meetings. We got hockey. We got NBA. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. We will be right back.
Following is a true story. My name is David Bryant. When I was 37, my wife and I decided to get term life insurance through SelectQuote. Just 3 years later, I was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Because of life insurance, the people I love most in this world will be protected no matter what happens to me. I know that the dreams I have for my family can still come true. Financial security, to stay in the home we became a family in, and for our children to be able to go to college.
When we come back, what did he want?
Share my story. If just
He literally called in to tell Chuck he was wrong. It was 3 times.
I was right. That's it. I knew that's what it was, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
So, do we trash talk? Oh, we can't. He broke you.
I can. I can do anything I want.
You can, sir. We'll keep our mouth shut, but we'll keep reading on anyway.
Can I have fun or no?
30 seconds left.
Can I say something or no?
Nah, it's not worth it.
Your local Model Sporting Goods store and look for the flags with Mitchell Space to find deals in all departments in the store for 7 days only. These unbelievable deals begin every Wednesday, and you'll find select items at our lowest prices ever. Visit stores this Wednesday and every Wednesday for new Mo deals. Remember, follow the flag with Mitchell Space to save today and every day. If you want to save big, you gotta go to Mo's.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. That's 877-970-2999. Models.com. You know, I totally forgot. So the Heisman Trophy presentation is tonight. Anybody, we got any news on that?
I've heard nothing yet, but I know Kyler Murray's taking it.
Well, no, he's not. The Alabama guy's taking it. Come on, stop. Stop. Are you going to compare this guy to Alabama and Alabama's schedule and all? Stop. Well, you want? Okay.
I would put money on it. I don't have any money at the moment. But in the future.
All right. So, Chuck, you'll keep an eye on that. Who wins it? And it's going to be the kid out of Alabama. Come on. Yeah. All right. So, speaking of that, and then in the Atlanta, I can't see because I don't have my glasses. I'm assuming we're still 0-0. Yeah. All right. So just keeping an update on that on the MLS, and it's amazing. I wanted to quickly touch on that. You know, so I did a little polling today. You know, there's some people I know in sports or whatever, or fans, and I said, do you know what championship is tonight? One guy got it, by the way. So as big as the MLS is, right, in regards to bottom line stuff of scores, talking about it. You know, soccer is growing in the U.S., the whole thing. Nobody knows that's the MLS championship tonight.
Where were you, though, when you were talking?
All over. I've been doing it all week. Just nobody. And I'm watching publications. I'm watching ESPN. I'm reading stuff during the week. There's just not a lot out there.
Is a no, but I could see if this might have been like a European championship or.
I'm only talking MLS in regards to soccer in this country to go watch.
I don't know if it will ever be big.
And by the way, bad job on Red Bull fans. You know, I hear about the Red Bull fans, and I hear they have this beautiful stadium. You know, so Atlanta, if you remember, they came here and had it's a one game, 180 minutes. So they had to come here and defend their lead when they finished them up at Red Bull Stadium in Harrison. There was nobody there. It was all Atlanta people there. So next time anybody wants to give Atlanta about the business about, you know, pro sports or whatever, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I really thought it'd be a hard win for them on the road. But or maybe they thought there's no way they're going to get back into this game, whatever. But I thought it was a little much. I thought that they had a bigger, loyal, more fan base than they did.
Well, it's funny because when you're going of the time, like that train is packed on its way to Harrison, stacked with Red Bull fans. So I find it odd that during the playoff game,
I was shocked. I was shocked. Like the upper deck, whatever, and they don't have a huge empty. And I was thinking about going. I was going to just buy tickets and go, or whatever. I didn't because it was kind of a nasty night, which had something to do with it too. But you know, when it's your team,
right? If you embrace them no matter what the weather.
Yeah. So I was just a little shocked. But the point I'm making is MLS isn't here yet. It really isn't. It's just not taking on. And that's not to say they're not profitable. That's not to say that they don't have a fan base. And that's not to say that, you know, it's certain. And I'm not comparing it to the Super Bowl. I'm not doing that or any of the other majors. But, you know, I just expected a little more juice out of it. So.
Atlanta's just embraced it.
Ah.
I've never seen a recent team coming up that was embraced like this. I mean, the Black Knights are a good example, but they were winning. I mean, Atlanta has 70,000 fans.
Yeah, I mean they're drawing like they do in Europe, and I can't explain why, because Atlanta, and I don't make any excuses for them. They're not a good pro sports town unless they're winning.
Yeah, but I'd argue that New York is the same way.
Well, that's what the point. I'm kind of making that point too. That you know it's not as big as you may think it is in regards to fan base in a lot of different sports. All right, we'll take a quick break. And I believe we got news and weather and traffic on the bottom of the hour. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. James Simeone's behind the glass. Charles is our call screener. We'll be right back. We'll take your calls and a lot more right after this.
This is AM 970, The Answer.
It's partly cloudy, 33 degrees. What's going on? We have the answer. The suspect wanted for allegedly beating 38-year-old stranger into a coma after a casual conversation on the city street.
By the way, when you saw it said Kevin McCullough, why did I know the answer already to why he was calling, right? You shouldn't have answered it.
It was ringing, so I picked it up and put it down. I didn't want to go.
I knew that's what the answer was. I've heard the guy show. I knew that it was, and I feel bad. I wouldn't have said that had I known that someone like that would call. Now I know when what's his name called me yesterday. Remember what I told you? Now I know why.
But it's not even that. Like, go away. Go, why are you busy?
I'm glad he's listening. You should have picked up and said, "Hey, we're glad you're listening."
Yeah, on the air. Hey, Kevin McCullough's listening. Minute 30.
All right, we're gonna get into some football. I think we should get into our football picks too. I'm just gonna mention about the hockey expansion a little bit. We'll talk about hockey later, and then we'll get into our football. I want to talk about Alex Smith, the whole thing of, and what's his name, Kareem Hunt.
Nothing's really changed because you still have a 7-point lead in our.
Whatever, we still gotta go over.
No, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
You're still in the lead.
Yeah.
We got 19 votes on our poll question already. We did who's going to win the Heisman.
Really?
Twitter, look at that.
Automotive Diagnostic Services of Whippany, New Jersey, in the heart of Morris County, is your dedicated family neighborhood automotive repair service at the corner of Jefferson and Parsippany Roads in Whippany. They fix engine performance issues, brakes, tune-ups, suspension work, and all general auto repairs. Your car's important to you, and they know it. If you're seeking friendly service from folks who want your business, look no further than ADS Automotive. Go to adsautomotive.com or give them a call at 973-887-07.
I'm back.
ADS Automotive is a proud sponsor of Talking Sports.
All right, we're talking sports here on AM 970. The Answer. We're today earlier in the afternoon. Seton Hall got a big win over the Kentucky Wildcats. Later in the RPIs, that's just going to be huge come tournament time. Good quality at a conference win for the Seton Hall Pirates. And we'll talk about the NHL a little later tonight, but I just wanted to mention about Seattle getting an expansion team. It's beautiful for them. You know, it's going to be a good hockey town. They'll have a nice rivalry with the Vancouver Canucks. had basketball stripping from them, and they will get a basketball team again. It's really cool. By the way, my son has it's an authentic Sonics Green Road Durant jersey. Really neat. So anyway, I wanted to get into. I'll tell you what, we'll get into NFL picks a little bit. Just wanted to talk about a little bit about the Alex Smith situation in Washington. I haven't heard anything lately. He got an infection from the surgeries, from his horrific surgery, which I have not seen and I never want to see. And you always hear these things about athletes that break their legs or this or that, and then they have surgery and everything's fine. But there's always another side of a possible situation, like an infection that could not go well, and bad things could happen. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but we just don't think about post other things of possibility. And you hope, and they've been very quiet about it. And what's concerned me is that when the Washington Redskins sent out something that said that everybody asked for their privacy right now. That's always a concern to me when I hear things like that. So
I thought as soon as it happened, and I did watch it, I thought his career was over. And I'm not saying because the injury, I just think age was.
Well, yeah. And by the way, Theismann didn't recover from his. He didn't come back from it.
I still think that is the creepiest thing that's happened in a long time.
But aside from the injury, let's hope he's okay with this infection, because infection, you could have it could go the other bad way, and you don't want it to go that way. I'm not going to get specific, but you don't want it to go that way.
Now on the other side, Mark Sanchez got to play. Did you guys hear?
But did he have a fumble butt thing again?
He had a butt fumble.
What? What is that? I did not see it. Right. That's fine. All right. When we come back, we're going to take a call. But when we come back, we'll touch on it because everybody talked about it probably ad nauseum with the Kareem Hunt thing this weekend. No, let's take this call here. We got 35. Let's go to Joey in Brooklyn. Joey, you're on Talking Sports on a Saturday evening.
Hey John,
how are you, Joey? What's happening? You staying warm tonight?
Well, I'm okay. Yeah, everything is good.
Okay, great.
I put the station on and I got these two boring women last night.
I got my schedules mixed up with something. Oh no, I hate it. I don't like to miss shows, and it's embarrassing. And you work hard to get an audience, so you don't like to miss the show. What's happening? How you doing?
Everything's good. Listen, you talked about the Alex Smith. I saw the Joe Theismann. It had to be the most brutal injury I've ever seen.
Terrible.
And the Mark Sanchez.
By the way, you know what's sad about the whole Mark Sanchez thing? You know what's sad about it? You know what's really sad about it? You mean to tell me Kaepernick's not better than Sanchez?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. We know that.
Right, but isn't that crazy though? That there's such a
That's the end of Washington. They're done as soon as I
yeah.
I said more than old boy.
Yeah.
That's the end of Washington.
Yeah.
Kaepernick can't beat out it.
No, he could. He's not going to get the opportunity. He's just not going to get an opportunity to happen. So that's the unfortunate thing about it.
He's suing NFL, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. Yeah, that's definitely not happening. But it's just a point to make that if you've got to go to Mark Sanchez, something's wrong.
And you know something, you were right on. Run when you're supposed to run. Punt when you're supposed to punt.
Yes.
And if you're going to punt and take a punt, you better make it by a mile.
Ugh.
What the heck is going on?
That was terrible. Great. How about that? That's a big win that's a huge win for them. I'm really happy for them. A nice young team. They got some good players on Seton Hall too. They got some really good players on that team.
You know, John, you were talking about college basketball. I love college basketball. I remember, because I'm 66.
Yeah.
Mickey Eastwood, Georgetown.
Oh, me too.
And the coaches would go at it, and that was
you, you know, my best memory from all of those years, and my dad's passed away since then, was watching the Georgetown Villanova final. How great was that game? That was Goliath versus. I mean, that was a situation where no one thought that Villanova was going to win that game. What a game! I even remember a guy for Georgetown. His name was Horace Broadnax, and he pulled a guy down there. You remember they were trying to get the ball in, and he pulled the guy down so he couldn't get the ball, and it didn't get called. But you know, Georgetown had that dirty way of playing, but that was their style. Nah, that was a heck of a league. A special time in basketball, really. It was really, especially here in this area with St. John's, and it was really a special time. It certainly was. It's all good. All right, I'm gonna move. I gotta get these spots in here. But great. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon. All right, you're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Gotta Go to Mo's call-in line at 877-970-2999. Don't forget, we got Sig's Locks of the Week coming up on the bottom half of the other hour. We'll get an update from Atlanta at the MLS Final Cup. They've got 70,000 at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium down there. 877-970-2999. That's how you get in touch with us. We'll be right back.
Everybody's making money at it except you. You're losing holiday business to your online competitors. Talk to us at Salem Surround, digital marketing experts who offer a free analysis of your online marketing effectiveness and suggest methods that could dramatically increase your sales coming out of this season. There are no limitations on where you can reach customers with Salem Surround, increasing sales dramatically. Learn more by logging on to surroundnewyork.com. That's Surround New York.
Another minute.
Okay.
Pets bring so much joy to our lives. They're loyal, they're protective, and smart. Yet as smart as our pets might be, they can't advocate for themselves, especially in the event of a natural disaster. Hi, I'm Sean Lowe. During Hurricane Harvey, many families were separated from their pets. That's why it's important your pet is part of your family's disaster preparedness plan. Talk to your veterinarian and visit banfieldfoundation.org/disaster. Don't save it for a rainy day.
Purpose and L works when you have a cold sore and works when you don't.
If you haven't tried this for cold sores, you're missing out.
Purpose and L penetrates deep to treat cold sores.
15 seconds. Do you want to do the NFL?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also protects against certain triggers caused by the sun and cold with added SPF 30 protection.
I use it in the winter and in the summer to help protect against flare-ups from sun damage.
Purpose and L works when you have a cold sore, works when you don't. Use it directly.
All right, we're back on a beautiful evening in New York City tonight. A little crisp, cold, about 20s when we leave here tonight, but wasn't too windy. A lot of cheer out there. It just feels good to be in the city tonight. All right, so we'll get into our NFL picks, but just want to touch on a few things in the NFL. And when we came back, before we took the call, I wanted to touch on the Kareem Hunt situation in Kansas City. And I don't want to go on to it. Well, we won't discuss it too long because I know you've heard it ad nauseum all week this week because sometimes we get the story first here. Sometimes we have to cover the story last. So anyway, just an unfortunate situation. Now, the one thing I ask is, and again, it's a tough question to ask is, I don't know if he grew up in the inner cities or what his childhood was like or something like that, that whether knowing right from wrong, and we all know right from wrong, but this just sounds like an isolated bad situation with no history with the guy or anything. And I'm not excusing it at all. He should be suspended or whatever, and he was released and all that kind of stuff. And I will give the kid credit. He came right out. He asked for the ESPN interview on his own, and stood there like a man and didn't wait 5-6 days to deal with this. Immediately kind of dealt with this.
I think it needs to be looked into the fact that he's had 2 other incidents, well, with a woman, not assault, but it needs to be looked at that he had 2 other incidents at, I think, a nightclub and a bar where he almost got into a fight again.
With a woman?
No, not a woman.
Oh. Have you ever gotten in a bar fight with anybody? Well, my point is that, you know, that's a scenario I think that's maybe a little different than, okay. I know anytime I've gotten in a bar fight, it got ended quickly with me running. Well, it looked like he did. I didn't know who these people were. Yeah. So, an unfortunate situation. And because I think that he came out and dealt with this, you know, I'm sure he's getting advice to go get some counseling on different things. And I do believe with the right counseling or whatever, so he understands, he should get another shot in the NFL. Yeah, I do. Not without the protocol and everything, and has to show, and has to, whatever it is. I don't know what that is. But whatever it is, and he goes through an examination after and has a clear understanding, maybe volunteers, maybe sits out a season and volunteers at beating shelter, or whatever it is.
I think sitting out a season, as cruel as it sounds, for any sort of domestic violence whatsoever should be the punishment. That will, I mean, I'm not saying it will eliminate it, obviously. I'm not saying people are bad people. But it's gonna at least curb it at the very least.
And by the way, and give Kansas City credit, they don't want to mess around with any. Yeah, and by the way, and I'm sure you heard, they confronted him about this at an earlier time.
Right, and he lied. That's
Right.
that if you were so remorseful about it, why didn't you pretend?
Now, how old is he? 23 years old. So I will tell you, everybody makes mistakes at 23 years old, and I'm not condoning his lying or any of that kind of stuff. But things happen. And, you know, as long as he can get to an understanding where he knows what he did wrong and not rush back to football, then it's just an unfortunate situation. And by the way, not only did Kansas City do the right thing, they also hurt their playoff scenario, you know, in regard, which is fine, which is obviously the right thing to do. All right, we'll get back to him. But as these calls come in, we'll take these calls. I don't want anybody. Let's go to Robert in Manhattan. Robert, you're on Talking Sports on a Saturday evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. I really have to thank you. You're a godsend. Here I was trying to figure out. I'm home on a Saturday night because it's chilly, it's cold. Nothing really worth going to. You're surfing the channel, desperately looking for even a bad Western. I'm so bored tonight. Then I flip around and I didn't know what to expect on this station on Saturday night. I hear some economic nonsense or something, and here you guys are, and you're livening up the evening. So thank you very much. Have unbored and otherwise boring Saturday night.
Well, thank you so much for listening. Are you a first-time caller?
Well, no. Yeah, to this station, yeah, not to the station.
But to this show. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Now
listen, here's the funny thing.
Sure.
There used to be a late night sports show.
The Dina Costa show. The Dina Costa show. Sure. You know. Yes, but you know that his producer Sig is with us. He comes in and gives some. Yeah, he comes in and gives us his locks of the week every week of football games and stuff. I will. He'll be with us about 9:30 tonight. But I'm so glad. And we're here every Saturday night, Robert. We're going to add an evening. We don't know which evening we're going to be adding eventually, but we're here every Saturday night, 8 to 10.
8 to 10. All right. Let me do my first
Sure.
rant before I get to the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about the landscape of New York sports. Now, there are some words I could use, but I won't because both of us, our next broadcast would be somewhere south of Lake College, Liberia. But really, when you think about it, the New York landscape of sports is really desolation central. I mean, except for the Yankees. I'll give them the Yankees. They won 100 games. But if you think about it, there is no team that you can
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the TV gods aren't doing us any favors tomorrow. Although in a way, I guess they maybe are, because the Jets and the Giants are on at the same time. So maybe we'll get rid of that by 4 o'clock. And so apparently we do have a good game at 4 o'clock on Fox. And that is down.
Yeah, they're giving us the doubleheader tomorrow. I saw that. It's great.
Now we get to the NFL. I want your opinion. Who wins the NFC least?
Who wins the NFC East? I'm going to go with who wins the NFL's least? L-E. Oh, as in who I could take my team, the Atlanta Falcons. Are you saying L-E-A-S-T or are you saying E-A-S-T? Got it. Right. Got it.
Washington is gone. The Giants, well, they're what they are. So you got Dallas and Philly. And I make a prediction, guys. I want to know if you agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever comes out of the NFC East is going to be gone in the first round.
Well, I'll break it down to you a little easier for you, and not team specific. Whichever of these final teams in the AFC and in the NFC who can ever stop the run and run the football will be successful. Which of those teams are going to be able to do that consistently?
I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to think that the championship, the NFC championship, is going to be wherever it's played, probably between New Orleans and LA. Do you disagree or agree with me?
If I look on paper today and I look at the scenario today, yes, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Funny things can happen though along the way. They can. Can New Orleans go out and play on artificial turf in L.A.? Can L.A. come back to New Orleans and do their thing? So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got an answer for you already. Mm-hmm.
Chargers 9-3, surprise team there.
Mm-hmm.
You got Pittsburgh, 7-4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. If New England somehow, Kansas City has to lose a game, and New England has the tiebreaker, if they beat the Chiefs,
right?
If New England gets home field all the way through,
mm-hmm.
Are they the odds-on favorite to go to the Super Bowl?
Well, they will be, but here's the team that impressed me. I went to bed last week. It was 14-3 Pittsburgh, right? I said, here we go, San Diego again, right? Typical San Diego. Only to wake up on Monday morning to find out what happened. They went into Pittsburgh. They took care of business, and it just could be Rivers' year. So they can't tell me that San Diego can't go to New England and get a win on the road. So I'm going to go with the Chargers right now. Oh, glad to hear it. Every Saturday night, 8 to 10, right here. We may be adding another night. We're working on it right now. Sure. We do. We talk a lot of hockey here. We're going to talk about the hockey. We're going to talk about the expansion team later. But we even have a hockey guru as part of the show. So keep listening every week. Yeah. We do. We every week we give a lot of attention to the NHL. So much. I'm so happy you're listening. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the call. You got it. All the best. All the best. All right. We'll take a quick break. Thank you, Robert from Manhattan. And when we get back, we're going to get into our NFL picks. I promise. Don't forget Sig's Locks of the Week coming up on the bottom half of the second hour. We got to talk NBA. We got NHL. I see that the Atlanta United have a 1-0 lead. We'll get a call from IJ Rosenberg at halftime. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give us a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line, 877-970-2999. We'll be right back.
Automotive Diagnostic Services of
You got 1 minute.
That was a great call.
is your dedicated
For sure.
automotive repair service.
We're out of time, but
Yeah.
it was a good one.
All right, we're going to get right into picks.
All right, we have like 2 minutes.
Right now?
Yeah, well, we have 45 seconds left.
It's fine.
And then we'll work into the first break again.
Business, look no further than ADS Automotive. Go to adsautomotive.com or give them a call at 973-887-0679. ADS Automotive is a proud sponsor of Talking Sports.
Want more of AM 970 The Answer and our hosts? Then interact with us. Follow us on Twitter for breaking news.
How about those San Diego last week? That was a hell of a win.
From our advertisers and more. Our handle is @AM 970 The Answer. Come on, tweet with us. Tweet us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. We're everywhere.
We're back.
The Answer.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. That's 877-970-2999. Models.com. All right, so we're going to take a look at our picks of the week. And I do like San Diego. I thought that was a big win for them. LA, sorry. Takes a while. It's going to take me. Listen, it's still the New Jersey Nets to me. So I'm trying to find my glasses here. Okay, so anyway, so that was impressive for San Diego to do what they did last week. So let's talk about their NFL picks. And don't forget Sig's Locks of the Week is coming up on the bottom half of the second hour. So let's get right into it. I still have a 7-point lead here. Right now, I'm buying pizza for everybody. That's what it's looking like. All right, so let's get right into this. Let's get right into the Giants at the Redskins. Is it at Redskins tomorrow? Is that at the Redskins?
I cannot see that, Chuck. Can you?
I believe that
Either way, I'm taking the Giants.
Oh, you're taking the Giants. All right, I'm going to take the Redskins with what's his name? Yeah. Now, let me just touch on that. So what happened? So you think he kind of... Yeah.
the Redskins are home. So
Redskins are home. Right. I'm taking the Redskins, so Odell, what happened there? It's a kind of caught in the moment thing. No. I'm talking about with that thing last week on the hands team.
What are you talking about?
Are you?
He didn't die?
Yeah.
Oh
Now,
my God.
now.
All you think was that's the greatest business decision.
Well, the thing is, no. If you're on the hands team, you're not even thinking. You're throwing your body in there. That's what you do. Now, I've been stuck in basketball certain situations where there's a loose ball and I think I'm going to go get it, but you might be seeing a different angle, whatever it is, and that may have happened, but it certainly didn't look good on camera.
Now, the first thing I thought was, of course Odell didn't go for it. You know that's what the entire city of New York watched. Like, of course he didn't
And by the way, had he gone for it, looked like he would have had it. Then get off the hands team. Seriously, come on.
I'm thinking that's coming back to him, not forward. I'm not with him. I'm just saying I get the reason.
Kind of silly. All right, so that you're gonna. I'm taking the Redskins there. We got Titans and Jaguars. That's over already. How about that run? That was a brutal game, by the way. Jets are at Bills tomorrow. A little payback time there, Charles.
absolutely not. It is currently Nick Bosa's season.
For the Jets?
Yeah.
Hey. All right.
Go Bills across the board?
We're going Bills across the board.
I like that.
We got the Saints at Buccaneers. That's a big game for New Orleans, and I'm going to go with the Buccaneers.
New Orleans will bounce back after their loss to the Cowboys.
All right. Johnny's Atlanta Falcons. What are you taking? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm going Saints.
Okay. Johnny's Atlanta Falcons are at the Packers. They're going to get wiped out by the Packers tomorrow.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, no chance.
Yeah.
It's going to be glorious when the Packers lose again.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take the Packers there.
I'm going to take the Packers
I'm trying to win this thing and buy you a bunch of pizza with a bunch of toppings on it. All right, I'll tell you what. You want to take a quick break? Is that what you want to do? All right, well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll finish this up. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman, on 970 The Answer in New York City. We got news, weather, and traffic on the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
The preceding program sponsored by Marketing.
That was a good first hour.
Are you going to news now? Yeah, okay.
5 minutes.
All right, be right back.
Deal with all kinds of occasional aches and pains. For years, Shirley struggled with her neck and her shoulder pain kept her from sleeping through the night. A lot of people, just like Shirley, struggle with aches and pains due to aging or exercise. Why don't you order the 3-week quick start? It's now only $19.95. Let's see if we can get you out of pain, too. Go to ReliefFactor.com.
Purpose L works when you have a cold sore, and it works when you don't.
If you haven't tried this for cold sores, you're missing out.
Purpose L penetrates deep to treat cold sores.
It really works. I apply it as soon as I have one.
Purpose L also protects against certain triggers caused by the sun and cold, with added SPF 30 protection.
I use it in the winter and in the summer to help protect against flare-ups from sun damage.
Purpose L works when you have a cold sore, works when you don't. Use as directed.
From the studios of AM 970 The Answer on Broadway and Wall Street in Manhattan, this is WNYM, Hackensack, New Jersey, New York City.
I'm Ron DeRostra. President Trump is looking for a replacement for his chief of staff, John Kelly.
We'll be announcing who will be taking John's place. It might be on an interim basis. I'll be announcing that over the next day or two, but John will be leaving at the end of the year.
Meanwhile, the president called Kelly a great guy. The retired Marine Corps general first served as Homeland Security Secretary before taking over the White House chief's job in July of last year. Police in Paris and Brussels clashing with yellow-vested protesters, firing water cannons and tear gas to quell the violent crowds, throwing rocks and smashing windows, traffic signs, and lights. Demonstrators demanding the resignations of French President Macron and Belgian Prime Minister Michel. Brazilian President-elect Jair Bolsonaro set to take office in January, but first he's got to defend himself against charges of tax evasion.
Mr. Bolsonaro campaigned hard on an anti-corruption ticket. He'd appealed to many voters because of his clean track record in a Congress where hundreds of members are being investigated for corruption. These allegations emerged after the Brazilian tax authorities found over $300,000 had flowed in and out of the account.
That sounds like my son. Alec, A-L-E-C?
Yeah.
Sounds like my son.
The president
Sounds like it.
Found in his wife's account because the aid had been repaying a loan to him. He also called it a mistake that the money had not been included in his tax return.
That is Candace Payette reporting. The weather in the south, pretty nasty. Millions of people bracing for harsh wintry storms that could bring immobilizing snowfalls, icy roads, and deadly floods. Governors and local officials from Texas to Virginia declaring emergencies ahead on winter storm.
What do you say you want to talk about?
News and analysis
The Atlanta Braves?
NFL.com.
The NFL.
Oh, okay.
This holiday season, treat yourself and your home to the easiest and most affordable makeover possible with brand new custom window treatments from Blinds.com. Now, through December 25th, Blinds.com is offering incredible holiday deals. Plus, you'll get an additional 10% off. With
All right, so I'm going to go to the call. I'll come back, we'll go to the call, and then we'll pick that back up.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
To get an additional 10% off. Blinds.com, promo code SHUTTERS. Rules and restrictions apply.
Tune into Shark Street Radio, the future of real estate, every Sunday morning starting at 11 to hear former CEO of Property Shark, Bill Staniford, fill you in on the latest in real estate technology. Shark Street Radio focuses on the key challenges the real estate industry faces today and how advancements in technology can help. Listen as Bill interviews industry leaders challenging their perspective on the best and worst facets of New York's real estate industry. That's Shark Street Radio, Sunday mornings at 11 on AM 970, The Answer.
China tells Canada release Chinese.
Oh, look for that guy's call, too.
Chief Financial Officer of Telecommunications.
It's halftime.
We're here.
Okay. I wonder, how long has it been halftime?
Do that.
Oh, but that's, maybe this guy's disguising himself as Alex tonight?
No.
That'd
That'd be funny.
Now, there have been a lot of calls
inside China. Lots
He may be waiting for press numbers or something, this guy.
Right.
effectively a hostage in
Atlanta's winning 1-0, right?
that this carried out this arrest on behalf of
We have 55 votes right now on the poll question.
That's a lot. Why are we getting so much?
You hashtagged it. Anytime you hashtag something, people find it.
That's great for the show.
Absolutely. What's the surprising part is who's leading right now.
What do you mean?
At townhall.com.
Well, it's Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, I liked him the other day.
No? Now it's a tie between two and Kyler.
I'll take this call, and when he calls in, just, I'm surprised he ain't called already.
Yeah, we can lob him up.
I wonder how long halftime is. I know you don't know.
It's soccer, so it could be 12 days, it could be 7 minutes. I don't watch it. Coming back in about 40 seconds.
The Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development notes the eviction proceedings began before Clifton obtained a state credential to possess medical marijuana. Although Clifton got the credential before his eviction, his attorney said the company enforced the lease's zero-tolerance policy. New York State.
I think I'm right about Kyler Murray winning right now, so I would like you guys to go get me a pizza immediately. Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked.
A girl was kidnapped last month from a North Carolina mobile home park. The announcement came the same day a memorial service was held at a local high school for the victim. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's Saturday evening. Time for Talking Sports. Here's your host, Jonathan Friedman.
All right, we're back for the second hour. Boy, and that first hour went by really quickly. All right, we'll pick back up on our NFL picks for the Sunday, but let's go back to the phone lines, back to the Gotta Go to Mo's phone lines. And Alec in Jersey City, you're on Talking Sports on a Saturday evening.
John, how you doing tonight?
How are you?
Well, I just wanted to call and talk a little bit about the NFL and wanted to get into the winter meetings tomorrow, too.
Okay, Alec from Jersey City, go ahead. What do you want to talk about? Let's start off. What do you want to start off with?
Well, I want to quickly note with the NFL, Robert from Manhattan called a little while ago. He's assuming that the NFC East is a one and done in the playoffs. I think he hit the nail on the head. We talk about teams that can run the ball and stop the run, and I think that the Dallas Cowboys could go all the way to the Super Bowl this year because they can do both of those things. What do you think?
I think that I can't argue with you. I have to tell you, Dallas has gotten hot and has won games in November and so far in December that are meaningful games and have gotten their running game together. The receiver they brought in from Oakland has helped them, and their defense has played well. So I can't, everybody looks at New Orleans and the Rams. They were playing well and still playing well, but, that doesn't mean other teams can't progress while they're playing well. So Dallas, I throw them right in the mix.
And Dallas' defense, that Vanderbilt and Smith, they can play good defense. And, New Orleans and L.A. both, L.A. did not play well in the playoffs last year against Atlanta. And then New Orleans, really couldn't execute down the stretch against Minnesota. So those teams are kind of, when you get in the playoffs, it's a different game.
And don't forget, Dallas kind of shut down New Orleans about a week ago, right?
Absolutely, and that's what kind of brought full circle. But also, I wanted to touch on winter meetings. Winter meetings start tomorrow. I wanted to get your take on what the Mets have done so far this offseason with Edwin Diaz and Robinson Cano. It seems to me like same old Mets, just getting big names. Really no rhyme or reason to it, but they got Nimmo, they got Conforto, obviously Cespedes. I hear they're going after more big moves. What moves do you think the Mets have to make to catch the Braves in the East this year?
Well, I tell you what, I give the Mets credit for one thing. When they took the stance of, we've got a pitching staff already, we're not going to rebuild this team. We've got a staff that's ready to go, that a solid four, so to speak, that can go. We're going to build around that now and try to win now. I love the deal. I love the deal of bringing Cano. Forget money. I love the deal of bringing Cano in. I love this Diaz. I think those are great pieces for the Mets. And I've been saying it all along. The Mets need a guy, a player that's a superstar that gets booed on the road If I'm the New York Mets, I'm all over trying to get Bryce Harper. I'm trying to sign him, even if it's to a 4, 5, 6-year deal. I'm trying to bring him in because the Mets need a guy like that with an attitude, a good player. And if you're going to take the veteran route with these pitchers, why not?
I mean, I disagree. I think they have that guy in Cespedes, but nonetheless, they are making a big splash. I love winter meetings. It's my favorite time of year. First time caller, want to say enjoy the show. You guys have a great evening.
All right, thanks for the call, Alec in Jersey City. All right, let's pick up back on the picks here for the NFL. So we left off here with, was it Saints Buccaneers? Is that what? We left off with the Falcons and Buccaneers and Packers, right? All right, so we got Colts at Texans. Colts are having a nice season. Texans are certainly having where they win 8 in a row now. 9 in a row. I'm gonna have to go with the Texans here at home. They may be, and Clowney's a free agent at the end of the year. There's some people are going to be unrestricted. People are going to be throwing money at that guy. Yeah, I'd take him. I like that guy. I've got Texans. All right, you got Panthers at the Browns. I like the Browns there tomorrow. It's a tough spot for the Panthers. Tough spot. Yeah. Just shows you, by the way, how long the NFL season is. Yeah. Right. Right. All right. He's certainly done very well lately. You got Chiefs hosting the Ravens tomorrow. Wait, did Chuck make a pick? Go ahead. I can't hold your hand the whole time here. Okay, we got Patriots at the Dolphins. I'll take the Patriots. Okay, I could see that, by the way. I could see that. We've got James. You got okay. We got Bengals at the Chargers. I like the Chargers. It's a big win for Chargers. Are trying to get to 10 wins. They're feeling good about themselves. Cincinnati has not played well. Yeah. We got an ugly game. We got Broncos at 49ers. I'm going to take the 49ers at home. Okay. All right. We got Lions at Cardinals. How about the Cardinals last week? I know you love that, James. Go into Green. How does that happen? No wonder McCarthy got shown the door that night. By the way, I don't know how you guys did, by the way. I'm out of fantasy. I finished like 4 and 7, I think I was. Or whatever it was. Whatever it is, the 12, whatever it is. Terrible. Terrible. My team stunk. All right, we got, did you take a team there, Chuck? Did Chuck take somebody?
I'm going to take the Cardinals at home.
Okay, taking Cardinals at home. All right. We've got Lions at the Cardinals. We got Cowboys and Eagles. Eagles are at the Cowboys. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys are running. Van Der Esch he's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and it's not going to be close.
I'm going to take Philly on the road.
Oh, you're doing that to annoy your dad. Is your dad listening right now? You're doing that to annoy him? Yeah, you're doing it to annoy him. All right, we got Steelers at the Raiders.
At the Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh.
I take the Steelers there. They're only a 10.5 point on the road. On the road. We got I can't wait to hear Siggs this week. We will be coming to you at the bottom of the hour, by the way. Seahawks at the Vikings. Vikings are at Seahawks. You love that. Another Monday night game for the Vikings. Wow, you're jumping off. You're jumping off. Wow. All right, so I've got the Seahawks there, Chuck. You got Seahawks. Okay. So, anyway, all right, we'll take a quick break. That's our NFL picks. Listen to Zig's picks. That's the real dealio. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give us a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. We will be right back. The guy never called. He never called.
He never called in. Not yet.
He's not calling in. It's not halftime.
Performance issues, brakes, tune-ups, suspension work, and all general auto repairs. Your car's important to you, and they know it. If you're seeking friendly service from folks who want your business, look no further than ADS Automotive. Go to adsautomotive.com or give them a call at 973-887-0679. ADS Automotive is a proud sponsor of Talking Sports.
If you're tired of struggling with stubborn belly fat and unwanted weight, and if you're still unhappy when you look in the mirror, then Dr. Melinda
All right, you ready to talk some hot stove?
Yes, sir.
I know from personal experience, it worked for me. I know it sounds cheap to be true, it's not. It's time to look and feel your best. Call Dr. Carter at the Brooklyn Wellness Center today. 778-234-6212. That's 778-234-6212.
Veterans, are you planning to file a VA disability claim? Get ready for a priority file. The Decision Ready Claim Program gets you a decision within 30 days after it's submitted. That's just 30 days for the benefits and services you've earned. Talk to your accredited representative or go to www.benefits.va.gov/DRC.
5 seconds.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give us a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. That's 877-970-2999. Models.com. All right, we're going to get into a little hot stove baseball as the winter meetings are underway. I guess tomorrow they get underway from Las Vegas. What a great place to have to go for the winter meetings in Las Vegas. They get those meetings done early tomorrow so they can have some fun in the evenings. Actually, some sad news for Major League Baseball this week is ex-Major League players Luis Valbuena and Jose Castillo killed in a car crash. Former Major League Baseball players Luis Valbuena and Jose Castillo were killed in a car accident Thursday night. A spokesman for the Venezuelan team, the Cardinals de Lara, confirmed Valbuena was 33 years old. Castillo was 37. The crash occurred after Valbuena and Castillo left the University Stadium in Caracas after playing a game in the Venezuelan Professional Baseball League. The players were en route to the next city where they were planning to play against the Bravos de Margarita on Friday. Valbuena played 11 seasons in the majors, including the final 2 with the Los Angeles Angels, and was released in August. He also played in Seattle, Cleveland, and Chicago, and Houston. Castillo played in the majors from 2004 to 2008 with the Pittsburgh Pirates, San Francisco Giants, and the Houston Astros. That's sad. And also, did you notice, an interesting thing, did you notice the Phillies fired their hitting coach a few months ago, and the Atlanta Braves just rehired them as his hitting coach? Kind of an interesting thing. Usually we don't see that within the division, but I guess, who knows? It was just kind of an interesting hire. Hasn't been a ton of free agent moves. I think what happened was in the in the owners' meetings, you know, they start to establish conversations of what's going to happen and what plan, and then you see in the winter meetings they try to get deals together. I know, for example, the Atlanta Braves have already gotten an early start. They signed Josh Donaldson to play third base. They've brought in, I didn't love it, they brought in Brian McCann. I'd have been just happy with Suzuki being the catcher. He's a great defensive catcher. Both Atlanta's catchers are terrible defensively, not very good. But anyway, so tomorrow you'll see a lot of things. Chuck, I know you're disappointed the Yankees haven't reached some agreements with some of these guys that were out in free agents, and that they didn't want to go an extra year like with the Boston reliever. And maybe, as you said, something else is up with the Yankees. might not be trading Sonny Gray so quickly.
I kind of appreciate though the Yankees put their foot down on this one instead of saying, you know what, we're going to drag this out. Corbin, as much as his brother put on the Yankees hat at the wedding and all that, the Yankees said it's like the tone. They're like, look, this is what we're doing. We're not going to overpay somebody. We don't want a CC situation, which is kind of worked out.
I also think there's a quiet collusion going on in regards to you're not going to see people running to sign this Harper guy to $300 million. If you remember, by the way, Boston's that J.D. Martinez wasn't signed until 2 weeks before the season, and he had an MVP type year. So, they're going to wait as long as they have to. It's, these guys are the guys that need jobs. So they're going to wait as long as possible to make these signings. Now, again, and I bring this up to you, James, because you're a Mets fan. Since the Mets made the decision, and I'm okay if you're going to make that decision not to go organic and to go with veteran players while you still have a young pitching staff, did you like the deal?
I like Edwin Diaz.
Good player, good pitcher.
Yeah, no, I mean, we needed him. But, look, you're going to, with, why am I blanking out on his name?
Sepsidus?
No, not Sepsidus. What they just bring in?
Cano.
No. With Cano, you know what you're getting hitting-wise.
Yep. He's a good fielder, too, by the way.
Right. Like, it's not like they brought, I know he's an aging veteran, yes. We didn't take on all the money, which is great. They ate some of it. And on top of that, I know what I'm getting from him, so I can count on it. And as far as he's shown every season. And it's not like after he came back from his drug suspension that he was any worse.
Right. Right.
So I look at it as we're building. We're definitely better than last year. And I know, as our buddy Brody Van Wagenen said, this is not the last move, so I'm comfortable with it. I just don't love getting rid of young people.
And by the way, Bruce was involved in that deal. Yeah. So they got rid of that salary. Yeah. What a terrible signing that was. But all right, he made good on it. So yeah. If you're going that route, if you're going to say, hey, we got to win with these pitchers now, and then you go that and you can make it work, and they got plenty of money to spend. Just don't get involved and get yourself involved in a Bonilla situation where you're paying somebody for 90 years. So there should be a lot of action this in the winter meetings, but I just don't. I think sometimes we walk away disappointed. And I know I prepared, and I cannot find it. Maybe we can pull it up online. There's a list of Hall of Famers that are going to be, there's a whole bunch of guys eligible for the Hall of Fame, and that they'll be picking these guys soon. Some interesting names that were out there, and I cannot find where I had that piece of paper that had who these guys were. But there were a lot of good names. Harold Baines. There were a whole bunch of names that I thought were pretty interesting that were pretty good candidates for the Hall of Fame. So maybe we'll take a look at that later. So it should be an interesting winter meeting.
Do you think anybody? I know you were talking about Harper before, right? Do you think Machado and Harper get similar prices, or do you think Machado gets or Harper gets a little more than one?
I think that the Machado thing for people, I think he's a great player. I think if there's there's less hesitation, or a scaredness with Machado being signed than Harper in some ways, because that lack of hustle thing, and again in the macro of things, he's a great player. His numbers speak for themselves, right? But I just don't know if these major league teams are going to rush to spend millions upon millions for one player like that, and they will. But it'll be interesting. I'm sure the Dodgers are lurking around for either one of those players, by the way. Yeah.
I feel like the only per player right now that somebody would spend all that. Actually, there would be two. I'd have to guess it'd be Mookie Betts and probably Mike Trout in LA. I don't know if anyone wants to spend that much on Harper. I wouldn't trust him. He's a bomber. I feel like that's pretty much it. Am I
He's gonna be a bomber, right?
No.
That's funny. All right, let's take a quick break. And when we get back, I see we got Walter on hold from the Bronx. Of course, he wants to talk Yankee baseball. Why not? I'm glad when he calls. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Don't forget, we got Sig's Locks of the Week coming up on the bottom half of the second hour, right after the news, weather, and traffic. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening here in the Big Apple, New York City. What happened to I.J. Rosenberg in Atlanta? He never called. We'll be right back.
Behold, the
virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his
Does that say 2-0?
God with us.
Christmas began with an unplanned pregnancy that ended in the ultimate sacrifice. At Patriot Mobile, the sanctity of life is cherished, and they fight daily to protect it.
2-0 Atlanta. You ready for an update? Are you ready for an update? Okay, so we'll go to a quick update, then I'll take this call.
And the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Patriot Mobile gives you the same reliable nationwide coverage at better rate. Keep your phone number and contribute to the conservative causes that you believe in with each phone call you make.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder.
The gift of life. Protect it. Cherish it. Switch to Patriot Mobile to support it. Make a difference this Christmas.
40 seconds.
Join Patriot Mobile today at patriotmobile.com/Q or call 1-800-PATRIOT. That's patriotmobile.com/Q or call 1-800-A-PATRIOT.
Follow the flag to savings every week at Modell Sporting Goods. Visit your local Modell Sporting Goods store and look for the flags with Mitchell Space to find deals in all departments in the store for 7 days only. These unbelievable deals begin every Wednesday, and you'll find select items at our lowest prices ever.
10 seconds.
Stores this Wednesday and every Wednesday for new Mo deals. Remember, follow the flag with Mitchell Space to save today and every day. If you want to save big, you gotta go to Mo's. Savings for FDC members only.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give us a call on the Gotta Go to Mo's calling line, 877-970-2999. That's 877-970-2999. Models.com. I'll tell you what, Chuck, we're going to come back to you after the bottom of the hour. We'll do that after the news, weather, and traffic. I see that the Atlanta United have a 2-0 lead on the Portland Timbers in the second half. Now, if Atlanta wins that, is that considered a major championship for that city?
Sure.
Yeah? It's embarrassing. The Falcons, the Hawks. That's great. All right, let's go to Walter in the Bronx. Walter, you're on Talking Sports on a Saturday evening. Good evening, Walter. Are you staying warm? Nice. A little a la mode going on over there. What's happening? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you kind of stole my thunder a little earlier. You mentioned, talking about how the Yankees, what is it, year after year, they're missing all the top, picks from the offseason, being the winter meetings and the hot stove and everything going on. I mean, who could be going after this Dallas Keuchel? Possibly someone like him. I know the last in the Bronx, a couple, when you think about back in 96 when we had Jimmy Key, we had a couple of lefties.
Remember that lefty at it from Australia? The big, tall, lanky Australia guy? He was good. I forgot his name, too. Boy, he shut Atlanta down. I know that. Well, he was good. He served a perfect role. I remember that guy. Hated him. Couldn't remember his name. Yeah, they didn't want to give him another year. Yeah, they didn't want to give him the extra year. You know what you don't have to worry about with the Yankees, though, and not to get too caught up into the winter meetings, is they'll always be able to fill their team and roster out throughout the season. He's done a great job at that. The GM's done a pretty good job throughout the season when it comes to acquiring players. So everybody's caught up in what the Yankees are going to do and execute in the winter meetings. Whatever they do could have a long-term plan for what they may do at the trading deadline also. So don't make yourself too crazy if they don't come out with anybody from there. Mm-hmm.
I think also, in light of things, nobody knows who Harper's going to go, nobody knows who Machad's going to go.
Right.
All those things are coming into play now. I think the Mets doing pretty good, even though a lot of people question the Diaz, deal.
I love it.
I think they're trying to, fill the need.
Yeah. Well, they're taking this pitching staff and saying, if we're going to win now, let's go do it. Let's get the players in to do it now. That's going to be, how great is that? You love that. That's good. That's good drama, right? Is that good? Is that good drama or what? Oh yeah. It, yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's a very sad situation. Hey, I got to run, but thank you so much for the call and thank you for listening. You're listening to Talking Sports. Don't forget Sig's Locks of the Week after the bottom half of this hour. We'll be right back.
News, opinion, passion. This is AM 970. The Answer.
Okay. We'll come back at the bottom. We'll go to an update, and then we'll get into It's Time For. You got your button for Sig's Locks of the Week? 2-0 Atlanta.
With the kids safe inside.
If the car was abandoned, they would possibly freeze.
The white 2005 Acura MDX with Pennsylvania
Good job
trims
today,
is
guys.
taken from outside of a beauty
Good
store
job today.
near IS-68.
It's nice to hear that somebody was going down the dial. He's actually really, I got to tell Sig about him. What was his name? Robert from Manhattan? Yeah.
Initially reported as a carjacker, they later clarified that the car had been left running while the driver ran into the store.
And that was my son.
Olga Breeze, NBC News Radio.
A 100-year-old Harlem man who was an aircraft technician with the all-black Tuskegee Airmen has died. A home health aide Alfred DeFore unresponsive inside his apartment this morning. The NYPD says they believe DeFore died.
We got the MLS Cup. What were the odds? Did you bet that? MLS Cup, Atlanta, Portland.
You talk about MLS, I think it's a fucking disease.
We had a caller ask you tonight. Robert in Manhattan called our show tonight.
Robert.
Did he go? I don't know. But he was telling us about he used to call a show the Dino Costa Show, which, by the way, we'll talk about.
He's got to be losing his mind. I think he's playing old shows from last
He
year.
has been, but I told you something's up.
I think they're not bringing him back yet, so they're looking into it deeper.
Yeah, with his Twitter accounts.
Yeah, they have to be. What do we got, 20 seconds for that?
But Chuck's gonna give us an update, and then we'll go to you. How you been, good?
Yeah. I had an up and down week last week, boy. I went 4-1 with football.
Yeah.
But my best pick of the day of football out of the 5 was the one I lost.
Nice.
I lost on one of the football games. I lost 8,500.
Right.
But I mean, I did okay.
Tomorrow's a big day for you.
Oh yeah. But the numbers are jumping a lot.
Go to adsautomotive.com or give them a call at 973-887-0679. ADS Automotive is a proud sponsor of Talking Sports.
It's time for You Can't Stump Marty, brought to you by Brown & Brown Metro.
Just kill it. Just kill it. All right, we're back. We're talking sports. If Mary Papa, if they're listening on that production thing, they're gonna hear about that on Monday. I'm just telling you, it's unacceptable.
Why don't you do a full disclosure? What happened here? I stumped Marty. I stumped him outside. Good. I stumped him real good.
So anyway, all right. So hit it. Do we have the right thing to hit here, or are we done? Hit it. Hit it. You got. I guess they want something for me to get mad about on Monday morning. That's just what I want to deal with on a Monday morning. Seriously.
There it is.
Seriously. All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Gotta Go to Mo's call-in line at 877-970-2999. That's 877-970-2999. Models.com. Sig's Locks of the Week. Sig is with us. So, Sig, in Atlanta tonight, they've got 70,000 people at the MLS Cup. If Atlanta wins this game, right?
Well,
Is
what
that
half is it in now?
the second half? We were supposed to have somebody call in who was supposed to give us an update, but he didn't call in. It's the second half. Atlanta has a 2-0 lead to win the MLS. Is that considered a major championship?
No, definitely not.
It's not.
I don't even know what MLS is.
Have you ever played or whatever odds with MLS games or anything like that?
Just World Cup.
Just World Cup. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So it's Sig's Locks of the Week. What do we got for us this week, Sig?
All right. This week we're going to start out with some teasers here, and before we get to the straight plays, plays this week, a lot of numbers are moving this week because I get numbers in early, you know. For an example, on the Cowboys-Eagles game, that game moved 2.5 points already from last Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. From last Monday, actually.
And the Cowboys right now, where are they? Are they getting 3 at home?
No, they're favored by 3.
They're favored by 3. Okay.
Yeah. But so I'll do the straights first. I'll do the teasers after.
Okay.
So, one of my top 2 picks this week is going to be the Cowboys and the Eagles. I got it at over 43. The over-under right now is 45.5, but I jumped on it early, and the reason being was because you look for trends a lot of times in gambling, and a lot of people they're going to hear me right now and say, looking at trends, why is he going over? Cowboys are like 15-21 in their last 35. Reason being, the Cowboys are coming off 11 days rest. Eagles are coming off of 6 days rest. So that's a huge difference.
Big difference.
The last 23 times this has happened, where there's a team coming off of 11 days and another team coming off of 6 days, the over has hit. It's 21-2.
Wow.
The over is hit. So I'm playing nothing but a trend right there. You know, if you look at the teams, you might think maybe go under, but I'm just playing a trend that's been, you know, it's been hitting for a long time now, many years when this has happened.
All right.
So that's one of the straight plays. Another straight play I got Kansas City at 6.5 and at 7 early this week. Now they're up to 7.5. So take Kansas City. They should cover the 7.5, but do yourself a favor, buy the 0.5 point. This way, if they win by 7, you're pushing, and you know you don't want to be sweating bullets anyway. So
yeah.
Buy the 0.5. Take Kansas City -7. They're at home. I don't know why everyone's in love with Lamar Jackson. Or, you know, this kid.
Well, he's won back-to-back, right? He's won.
No. He's only won back-to-back road games because this is what this is, back-to-back road games.
Because he played Atlanta is one of them.
No. I think he's only won. He's 1-2 in back-to-back road games.
Right.
And he was in college.
Got it.
Right. Like that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, he's not accustomed to this. It's back-to-back road games, and you know there's tape out on him now also.
Yes, there's tape. Yep. They got a scouting report now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can shut him down. And
yeah.
They're not going to be able to throw the ball, and it's in Kansas City. So, that's a fishy line right there.
It is.
I mean, and Ware's not that big of a drop-off to Hunt, that you would think. Like, you know, when Ware stepped in last year, he did fine.
Yeah.
So I love Kansas City. Buy the hook, take them at -7. Now, here's a tricky one. I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think about Green Bay, the Green Bay game in Atlanta?
Green Bay is what, a 3-point favorite? What are they?
No, it's at 4 to 4.5 now.
4 and a 4.5.
I got them at 3.5 originally, and I brought it down to 3.
I say they win by 11 or 12.
Who?
Green Bay.
Okay, yeah, exactly. That's right. I got Green Bay. I got them at 3.5. I brought it down to 3.
They're shaking their heads over there. Why are you shaking your head, James?
I'm the only one shaking.
Okay. Yeah. Have you watched Atlanta play?
I have watched Atlanta play.
Okay.
Here's the deal, though. The reason why I agree, both teams are terrible, and I think out of the 2 teams that are terrible, I like the Atlanta Falcons terrible better, normally. But there's no mistakes going on here. I don't care what Aaron Rodgers says or how they try to spin it. He wanted McCarthy gone. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
Oh, yeah. He was done, yeah.
But they've been having a pissing contest all season.
Yeah.
Where...
And that... Well...
They're his own plays, but it's like a competition in the locker room after games where they're trying to one-up each other.
And you lose to Arizona at home.
And you lose to Arizona at home.
That'll do it.
Exactly. So now this is like a statement game. Rodgers wants to come out and he wants to show them now with no McCarthy. Look, I'm the guy doing everything now. So if there is a game that Green Bay's going to win out of the last 4, this is it right here. It's in Lambeau. It's going to be cold.
Oh, great.
You got to take them over Atlanta there.
Yeah.
You definitely got to take him over Atlanta there. And Matty Ryan's been, I don't know, maybe age is starting to creep up on him. He's been in the league.
Wait, he was an MVP candidate 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. And the Dallas Cowboys were dead and stinking 4 weeks ago.
That's true.
You know, they had a funeral.
That's true.
I think I passed it on the FDR.
We had a caller today. I said to them, they're the hottest team in the NFC right now. Arguably the hottest team playing at the right time.
Yeah.
It's those games that you play in November and December they remember.
Yeah, the two teams from Texas are the hottest teams in the NFL.
Right.
And the Cowboys.
Well, it wouldn't be interesting, by the way. I never thought about this. What happens if we had an all-LA Super Bowl?
We're talking Chargers and Rams?
Yeah. By the way, it was an impressive win by the Chargers last week to go to Pittsburgh and win.
Yeah, well,
How'd you do in that game?
I did fine in that game, but not as fine as I wanted to be because
Right.
I panicked after I seen them down so much.
Right.
If I would have left it alone, I would have been fine, but I kind
Yeah.
of tried to hedge it a little bit.
I went to sleep. It was 14-3, and I said, "Oh, typical Chargers."
Well,
and woke up, and it was different.
You know what killed me last week? Last week I went 4-1, but my main best bet was the one that lost. That's when I lost $8,600 almost on that game. But that was straight bets. That was parlays and some big teasers.
You need some cash? I'll pull some cash out here
Well,
for you.
I was up like $5K from hockey, believe it or not.
All right, wait, hold on. We're going to come back. We'll take a quick break. We'll get back to Sig's Locks of the Week. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. Give us a call on the Gotta Go to Moe's call-in line at 877-970-2999. We'll be right back with Sig right after this.
That one was a killer last week. The Saints for me.
What's that?
The Saints was a killer for me last week.
They got shut down.
Dude,
Dallas's defense is playing well right now.
Yeah, but if they play again this week, I'll make the same bets I made again. That was just like it was. You know, you say the Cowboys going to dominate them like that. If they play 100 times, you say maybe 2 times out of 100. So I'll make my same bets again if they play next week, the week after, whatever. I don't know how Dallas did that. I do not know how they did
I think their defense is playing well.
Yeah, but now I don't like what they're doing. They're bringing Sean Lee in to start at middle linebacker again because he's healthy, and they're putting Van Der Esch.
They're moving
putting him on the bench.
Why would they do that?
Because they're idiots. It's time to say, Sean Lee, you're hurt every year.
He's hurt every year.
You're the bench guy now, and you're retiring after this
He
year.
reminds me of a linebacker in Atlanta that played. He played for Georgia Tech and he played for the Falcons. What was his name? I can't think of his name. Let's see what he reminds me of.
Dino called me the night before Thanksgiving.
Was that, he did?
Yeah.
To wish you happy Thanksgiving? Did he know you were doing this?
No.
That was nice of him.
There's always an angle with him.
Because you thought he needed something?
No, he didn't ask for nothing, but there's always an angle.
Well, at least he called.
Yeah, but there's always something there. You know, it's like when things ain't going good, he tries to touch base again and act like
It's interesting that nothing's happening there. And the owner said he was going to put him on 11-2. He didn't want to do that.
No, yeah. We're going to put him on at the same hours almost here. Like, that's shitty.
There.
Yeah.
It's in New York, you can do that.
Yeah.
Not here.
And that was shitty hours there. But now they're saying that. Did you ever hear the old time he was on that channel when he had that argument with the guy on air?
Wait a minute. All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Saturday evening with me, John Friedman. We're in our Locks of the Week segment right now. All right, what do you got there, Sig?
All right, so also I like, like I was telling you before I get to these ones quick, the Saints killed me last week. I mean, just unbelievable. That was like I was telling you during the break. They played.
Now, when you say that, you took into account that they're going on the road and they're playing.
Oh, yeah.
They're playing at on a Thursday night with no rest.
Yeah.
That's always a tough assignment right there.
Sure is, but Dallas, trust me, Dallas. As much as everyone wants to act like they're so good and this and that, especially at home, they haven't been decent at home until this year in Jerry's world.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's no real home field thing there yet for the Cowboys. And I mean, listen, I had them in 3 different teasers where I had them getting between 3 points and 6.5 points. But, I even lost those because I also had the over in that game. I had the over all the way down to, I think, 34.5. I thought, the Saints have a good shot at getting that by themselves.
Yeah. Total of what? 13? What was it? Total
13-10.
13-10, right?
I mean, the Cowboys could have scored more, but they did the gentleman thing and kneeled down.
Yeah.
No one's seen that 13-10 coming anywhere in the world.
No. The only thing is, it's tough for that road team on Thursday night. It's just
It is,
tough.
but-
It's tough to game plan. It's just tough.
But listen, they had, they got the talent, they had the track there and everything that they like. It wasn't like there was a weather that was messing them up.
Well, it's one of those things that also wakes up teams to say, okay, we slipped up a little bit. If we don't go through our normal process of what we need to do to prepare for games.
I like this with the Saints now to make them.
They're at Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, but and everyone's that thing jumped. That's another one that jumped 2.5 points. It started off at 8.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's at 10 or 10.5.
Yeah, I actually in our picks here, I took Tampa Bay in that game because of the pressure of New Orleans has got to stay apace here of what's going on. They've got the Rams, and by the way, Kansas City has San Diego right on their tail.
Now that's going to be a big one next week if Melvin Gordon plays or not.
Right.
Because it looked like a great matchup. Is that going to be the AFC title game? But ironically, it could be a Kansas City team without, their running back and a Charger team without their running back. No Hunt, no Gordon. So that, who's the Chargers guy? Ecker or Eker?
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think the Chargers have any real shot at that division. They're going to get in the playoffs. They're not going to win the division. Kansas City should still have that.
Yeah.
Like I said,
but I like them. I like that team. I like San Diego. I never liked San Diego. But what they showed me last week showed me that they could go on the road and go to New England and win.
Yeah, but here's the deal. If they don't get that home field, they're going to have to go on the road.
Yeah, three times. And that's always tough.
3 times it's going to be, you're going to have to go to probably
I still don't know how the Giants did it that year, by the way.
Especially one of those games was in Lambeau.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it.
God, that killed me. But now, here's another one for you. Speaking of the Giants, I like the Giants -3 this week. They're proud team, proud organization.
Yeah.
It's Eli's last year. He's not going to go out trying to tank so they can get a great.
Oh no. You think it's Eli's last year? I'm not sure.
Whether he wants it to be or not, I think it might be.
I don't know if it is.
The only way it's not is if they don't like a quarterback that's coming out the Giants.
Yeah.
If they don't like the guy, if they like somebody better the following year, they're going to let him have one more year.
You see him playing for another franchise?
Actually, yeah, because his brother did it, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's the right fit, where he thinks he can step in.
Yeah.
Think somebody. Everyone used to say Jacksonville, but think somebody now.
People forget that Peyton's got 2 rings on his finger.
Yeah.
You forget about that.
Yes,
but he looked really bad in that Super Bowl, by the way, for Denver.
He looked like Eli looked almost.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I like the Giants -3. The Redskins are down to their 3rd quarterback.
I know.
But fumble Sanchez.
By the way, that's just we were talking about it earlier. You mean Kaepernick's not better than Sanchez?
Honestly, I don't think he is, or I think it's.
That it just shows you that's never happening.
Yeah, it's definitely never. They said they thought about it, but no, that ain't happening. And that was the right team. Snyder, a guy who likes to make headlines.
Right.
If he's not doing it, it ain't happening.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And then the last one I kind of like. It was a little bit less too earlier on. I think it was 8.5. It's now 10. But Pittsburgh and the Raiders. Pittsburgh lost 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
They almost had an easy path to one of these top 2 seeds.
But you see them winning and not covering is what you're saying.
It's possible, but they got a little turmoil going on there too. Ben's been throwing everybody under the bus.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday afternoon show.
Yeah.
He throws the coach under. He threw Antonio Brown. He threw James Conner under the bus. And I think he's catching a little heat now.
And he got hurt too, didn't he? Get hurt last week, the running back. Nothing serious.
No, nothing serious. He should be good.
Yeah.
But I think Ben's getting a couple of little sideways looks from his teammates in the locker room. So, but it's the Raiders,
Right.
So it's like, how do you not pick? When Pittsburgh
still a lot of points though. It's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points, but that's why, for the final thing, I got the teasers here. Now, I got do a 3-team or a 4-team. I'll do a 4-team for you where you get 13 points. Kansas City +5.5 at home.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots +4 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one. I think Patriots going to win that game easy. The Chargers -2 against Cincinnati and Driscoll.
Got it.
If the Chargers... Are the Chargers going to get caught in this trap game, though?
Well, you got. I'm gonna guess not that they're not gonna let Cincinnati come in.
They might not cover the 14, whatever it is now, but you get them -2, you should be safe.
Yeah.
And then the 4th one will be Pittsburgh +3 in LA for the Raiders. You do that, you risk 700 to win 500 on that 14 teaser. You should be safe with that right there.
All right.
So remember, you got the Chiefs -7, Green Bay -3 to 4, whatever you get it at, wherever you do your shopping. Giants -3. Do the Cowboys, Eagles over 43 to 45.5 now for the game, wherever you're going to get it at 45 now.
Right.
45.5. And then, depending on how your week's going or whatever, Pittsburgh -10.
Should be a good one. I hope you guys wrote this down. I hope the audience wrote that down. Sig's pretty good. We weren't here last week, so we didn't get a chance to compare. But
I did good with the record last week, 4-1. But what the money was for the actual 4-1 record, not too good because of that same game.
I love Sig's notes he brings in here. You got these little pieces of paper.
I just did that
You
about 5 minutes ago with George and Ernie.
got a little piece of paper. Yeah, that's typical. I love that. All right, Sig. So we'll see you next week. I appreciate it, and you got 11. And I told you we had a caller who called for you today.
Oh, yeah, we said
He
Robert in
said
Manhattan?
Robert in Manhattan called and asked for you. I told him. He had said that there was a show on here at night called the Dino Costa Show, and I told him that you were with us at the every week, and he was excited to hear that. So Robert in Manhattan, if you heard that, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
That's it.
you got it, buddy. All right, well, talk to you later, Sig. He'll be with us next week. I love this segment. All right, we're coming down on the home stretch here of the show. Been a busy show. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening. It's gorgeous in New York City tonight. Matter of fact, I think I may take the train up and look at the tree tonight. You're listening to Talking Sports. I'm John Friedman. We'll be right back.
I'll be right back up. I got to run down. I got to finish talking to George.
You got cold?
Oh, it's freezing.
Diagnostic services of Whippany, New Jersey.
No, you look like you got hot in here.
Well, it's hot yet. Or, you know what I mean? Keeps the fucking thermometer in it. It keeps it on 80. He's old.
Suspension work and
Walk in that room. You fucking drop 5 pounds as soon as you walk in.
If you're seeking friendly service from folks who want your business, look no further than ADS Automotive. Go to adsautomotive.com or give them a call at 9.
All right, get ready for an update.
0679. ADS Automotive is a proud sponsor of Talking Sports.
A minute, and we're going to do an update.
Yep.
37, my wife and I decided to get term life insurance through SelectQuote. Just 3 years later, I was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Because of life insurance, the people I love most in this world will be protected no matter what happens to me. I know that the dreams I have for my family can still come true. Financial security, to stay in the home we became a family in, and for our children to be able to go to college. I reached out to SelectQuote because I wanted to share my story. If just one person purchases life insurance, I know I will have made a difference.
SelectQuote can find a 37-year-old male a $500,000 policy for under $1 a day.
If there are people you care about, you need life insurance. It may be the single most important financial decision of your life.
Don't put off protecting your family. Get your free quote now. Call 800-671-7070. That's 800-671-7070. 800-671-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com. This is a paid endorsement. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Not available in all states.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Saturday evening. I'm John Friedman. James Simeone's behind the glass. Charles is our call screener. We'll quickly, in just a little bit, take a look at the NHL. Talk a little quickly on the NBA. But speaking of those two, Chuck, why don't you get us updated on what's happening in the world of sports tonight?
First off, I want to say that James was right, and Kyler Murray, the quarterback of Oklahoma, is your Heisman winner.
I'm shocked by that, by the way. I listen, kudos to you. I just figured the kid, their numbers were very close, the quarterbacks. He plays in the Southeastern Conference. He's on a team that's the #1 team in the nation because of him. And I hope he's not being penalized for what happened in the SEC championship. Well, they took him out of the Auburn game. Well, right, but their numbers were the same while they're taking him out. I'm just shocked. But all right, congratulations to him. And I hope this kid, I was reading about this kid today, that I hope that he's going to go the baseball route and not the football route. Well, if he can play Major League Baseball, that's the route to go. Not the NFL. Go ahead, Chuck. Sorry.
So we're going to start off with the NHL for our guy Robert from Manhattan.
Yeah.
The Bruins are up 6-3 right now over Toronto with 2 minutes left in the third. Rangers and Panthers are tied at 4 going into a shootout. Sharks are up 3-2 over the Coyotes at the second. Earlier, the Flyers beat the Sabres 6-2. The Kings beat the Golden Knights 5-1. The Senators beat the Penguins in overtime 2-1. The Islanders beat the Red Wings 3-2. Tampa Bay routed Colorado 7-1. And the Capitals won
All right. Nice. How about that? Where's it? At the Garden or in Brooklyn? Nice. That's a nice road win.
Johnny, your Hawks beat the Denver Nuggets.
No way.
Wait, what? Yeah. How many points did Trae Young have? I'll look it up.
And how many did Paul Millsap have? I'll take a look at that. Again?
Broke his toe.
Well, he's out for weeks. Oh, wow.
Had 9 points on 3 of 12 shooting.
He's a rookie. But they beat Denver. That's a bad loss for Denver. And a bad loss for Atlanta, too. I don't want the wins.
All right. The Celtics are killing the Bulls 112-69.
You know, the Bulls coach got fired.
Good.
Yeah.
He was awful.
Yeah.
The Lakers are killing the Grizzlies 91-67.
Which, by the way, did you know that Conley's having the best year he's had ever off of an Achilles tendon injury?
He doesn't make the All-Star team this year. Just was not
Very
meant to be.
underrated point guard.
Yes. And solid. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The Mavericks beat the Rockets by 3. The Pacers beat the Kings by 10. And the Cavs beat the Wizards. Would you believe that?
Well, the Wizards won back-to-back. I know they beat New York and they beat Atlanta back-to-back. But the Wizards they are a mess.
Break it up. Find what you can get.
By the way, how is that one guy on their team? His brother plays for the Boston Celtics in the NBA. He isn't any good. He plays. Oh, how is he?
So much better.
He's just not an NBA player.
Right now, no, he's had some moments over the years, but his brother's much better. He's doing a lot better in Boston. But they're in a better system. And honestly, I don't want to say you can't win with John Wall, but you can't be your main guy.
Got it. And it very well could be. Could be. Go ahead, Chuck. Sorry. That's it. All right. So let's take a quick look at, speaking of Robert in Manhattan, at the NHL. I was doing some reading yesterday. Did you see, obviously, Seattle now got their own team. I don't know if they're going to use the pilots. It's a great thing. And did you notice that Vegas, by the way, will not have any players taken away from them as part of, but they do not get paid any of the expansion $650 million. So interesting with that. And the other great thing about the Seattle thing is they wanted to get going like next year, and the NHL went, whoa. Let's plan this correctly. You know, let's get your arena situation taken, get all that. And they're not going to start to what, 21, 22? I think it was 21, 22. So that gives the franchise enough time to get their stuff together. And good for the great Northwest. They deserve it. It should be a great rivalry with Vancouver. And locally here, everybody just kind of teeter. I know the Rangers have hit a little dip. Exactly what you said a few weeks ago with the ebbs and flows of hockey. Devils have played a little bit better. And the Islanders have kind of hanging around there. Yeah. So, you know, hockey, we'll start getting more into hockey as we get into the season a little bit, once we get done with football and stuff. But as you said, you know, just hover around 500.
I told you it's a long season. It's only December 8th.
Only December 8th. Yeah.
They're in their division now, so.
Right, you still got January. You still got the trade deadline for February, March. The All-Star in April. So you have 3 months. 3 months to really go.
And you've got some teams out in West, I noticed. I saw Winnipeg is still playing well. I saw that one of the West teams that usually doesn't win, where Vegas is not playing well. Edmonton was playing well. There's a whole bunch of teams out West that's been very competitive. Arizona's played well. The Coyotes have played well. So do they have ownership, or does the NHL still run that franchise? Do you know? I don't know the answer to that. They do have ownership now. Okay. It's strange how it just, you know, the NHL has supported them big time in regards to keeping them going, so to speak, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. They got moved to a division. They got moved out of the Pacific.
Right, and the reason for that was
So it's in even teams now?
so now you have 32 teams, and there's 4 divisions, so it'll be evenly spaced out.
All right. So it looks like we're coming to the end of this week's show. As always, I hope your team wins. I want to thank James Simeone behind the glass and Charles for making it happen. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank our callers. And I especially want to thank you, the listeners. You've been listening to Talking Sports on a Saturday evening. I'm John Friedman. Have a great rest of the weekend, everybody.
The preceding program sponsored by Marketing Ideas and Beyond, LLC.
Selfless service is the guiding principle that drives Army National Guard soldiers to be always ready whenever disaster strikes. Every Army National Guard member serves not only to protect the nation, but also their local communities, so they each have a stake in the security and well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They are your next-door neighbors and your colleagues in schools, offices, and factories.
Thank you for watching.